From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Please welcome our next duo,
Sarah Stewart and David Small. Oh, look.
I see your faces.
I'm going to kiss you.
Hello.
I'm going to kiss you.
I would like to ask everybody, if possible, for you to be really quiet, because I have a very, very soft voice. So does Sarah. We want you all to hear what we're saying. And also the name of the book that we're here, that we've just to present to you, which we've just finished, is called The Quiet Place. I wonder if we can actually create a quiet place in this tent right now. Sarah?
I think a lot of people are listening to us. They're all looking at us.
They sure are.
Personally, I would much rather be at home, having invited some of you to the place where we live in Michigan, on a river, maybe out in the yard on a quilt with something to drink and a snack, and we would just sit there with a big pile of books and read. I think that would be very nice. David Small and I live in a very, very quiet place out in the country. And I spend my days writing, and when I'm not writing, I'm gardening. And David Small draws, and then he draws some more. That's the reason he has so many books. I am the luckiest writer in the entire world because I'm married to David Small, the famous illustrator. Are there pictures to look at?
I'm not sure where to click this thing. Excuse me, what direction do I click in to make the picture change?
We don't see any pictures to look at.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
How do I go back?
We're going to show you some
there we go.
We're going to show you some of David's beautiful drawings from the book. And I thought I would read about 1.5 letters, because the book is based on letters between Isabel. Isabel is a friend of mine based on Abby Aceves, who, when she was 9 years old back in the 1950s, before most of you were born, came to this country from Mexico. And the story is about Isabel coming to this country and feeling absolutely overwhelmed by everything. And so when she found this marvelous, enormous, outsized box that the refrigerator had come in, her father had bought her mother a new refrigerator for their move from Mexico to Indiana. When the refrigerator came in that big box, Isabel asked if she could make it into a quiet place for herself. And so all the letters back to her aunt in Mexico are based on this life of hers getting really complicated and a little scary, and Isabel finding a very good place to be in that box. But before that, I'm going to read to you a couple of letters and then let David show you some more art.
If I can.
Is it moving?
Not according to my directions. Now we're moving backwards. I'd like to go forwards. Next one, please. There, stop, please.
April 9th, 1957. Dear Auntie Lupita, I wish I could sit down with you. I forgot to tell you something. I heard Spanish being spoken this morning in a cafe where we stopped on the second day of our long drive north. Then the best part was after lunch, when we drove through many, many, many blue flowers. The very next day, the sky became that same blue. Chavo said, "We left a sea of blue at our feet and entered an ocean of blue over our heads." I want to talk like that. Missing you, Isabel. P.S. I am using my best words, and Chavo's dictionary helps me with the new ones.
Next page.
And then on the next page, they've arrived. They've left Mexico and they've crossed the border and they're way up in Gary, Indiana, a really bleak, cold industrial town. It's April 14th, 1957. Dear Auntie Lupita, we have only been in our new home for 10 days, but most of the boxes are unpacked. I like having our old things around me again. Snow came down all night and made my whole world new. This morning, everything was white. I ran outside and made a snow angel. Do you remember the one we saw in the book at the library last year? Mother says it is a funny time of year for snow, and it will all melt by tomorrow. Where will that snow angel go? Missing you, Isabel. And David's beautiful art goes on with my letters, telling you what happens to Isabel and how her life just gets better and better here. But I'm not going to read anymore.
You want to sit down with them?
Yes. I'll sit over here.
Okay. This picture doesn't have any words to it, so you just sort of have to read it just by what you're seeing. And this shows the place that Isabel's family has moved to from their very beautiful, lush, colorful mountain town in Mexico to winter in Gary, right on the edge of Lake Michigan, where, as Sarah said, it's a rather bleak industrial landscape here. So very, very different for little Isabel. And you can see her down in the corner with her snow angel. Next page. Here's the day they get the new refrigerator, and Isabel's looking into the box very curiously. Next page, please. Accidentally, the box gets left out in the rain, and Isabel, as you can see down in the left, is very, very sad about it. Her mom lets her go under the kitchen table and write her letters and draw her pictures. And
To this right here.
are they going to? Sorry.
I have
Okay.
to hold them up to the camera.
I'll find out later. Her mom is beginning to make birthday parties for some of the neighbors in the neighborhoods in Chicago, and Isabel always goes along with her mom when she's at work. And you can see Isabel here on the right, and her mom at work in the kitchen, and the mother of the birthday girl is offering Isabel a little present, but Isabel says she's not interested in a present or a party favor. She wants that box that the biggest present came in. Next page, please. And here her mom is helping her learn how to cook, to make cakes, to chop nuts, scramble the eggs, beat them all together. Isabel's lucky. She's got a good family around her in this strange new world. Next page, please. And here you can see another party where a girl has gotten an inflatable swimming pool, and Isabel gets the box, and she and her mom are taking it home. The box is big. Next page, please. And here's another wordless spread where Isabel is shown at work down the basement making something. We don't know. It's got to do with boxes. It's got to do with folded paper, paints. Next page, please. This is a night of fireworks, and there's always a lot of fireworks going on down in Mexico, so that suddenly they're beginning to feel at home here in the north. Next page, please. And here is Isabel in her quiet place. This is the first time we get to see inside. And she's studying hard because school is coming that fall. And she's going to have to meet a new teacher and make new friends and learn a new language. And she's working very, very hard at all of this in this secret, quiet spot that she has made for herself. Next
Sure.
page, please.
Easy.
And here, at a birthday party where Isabel helped bake the cake for the birthday girl, they invite everybody to come to Isabel's birthday, which is coming up. Next page, please. And everybody comes. And instead of, wait, can we go back, please? Just a bit. Instead of asking people to bring her presents, Isabel has asked everybody to bring her their favorite English word. And her favorite word is sycamore, a kind of tree. But I also gave her a little kitty because I thought she needed a real present too. So as illustrator, I took that prerogative. And her mom and dad are dancing in the middle of the picture, you can see, and there's all kinds of flowers and food and piñatas. And then she invites everybody, next page please, into her quiet place. This is a long 4-page gatefold that opens up in the book. You can't really see it on the screen. This is the left-hand side. And you can see all the things that Isabel has made for her quiet place. She's made windows and shutters out of paper and paper flowers. And she's got her dolls placed around. And she's made origami things and painted things on the walls. Next page, please. And here's Isabel herself in the other part of her quiet place. It's not so quiet anymore. She's putting on a puppet show for her friends who are sitting in a little theater, and everybody is singing a morning song that she's taught them.
There's Richard Bear.
Oh, and Richard Bear is sitting on the chair. This is Richard, by the way. Got to introduce Richard. He goes everywhere with Sarah. How old is Richard?
He's over 50.
Richard is over a half century old. Next page. This is the last, the story's over, and Isabel's getting onto the school bus, and all of her friends are welcoming her. And the last page of the book shows, turn the page, please. Shows nothing. Are there any more pictures?
I can do it with the cameraman.
Oh, you can?
Mm-hmm. He's going to zoom in. You have to, I don't know how much time we have.
Am I going to be able to see what they're seeing?
I don't know. He's going to zoom.
Yes, I can. Oh, perfect. Great. I just wanted to explain to everybody how it goes when you're an illustrator. You have to retell a story that's already been made in words, but you tell it again in pictures. And I had some trouble with the opening of this book because I knew that the beginning of the story opened up with a rather sad scene of saying goodbye from between Isabel's mom and her sister, who is Isabel's auntie, to whom she's going to be writing letters throughout the book. So this picture that you're looking at, hopefully, show it, watch the camera, shows my first try. He wants to, there we go. And I didn't want to start out the book with a sad picture because it's not ultimately a sad story. But I knew that I had to get the embrace in there between the ladies, or amongst the ladies. And I wanted to show Dad packing up the car, so there he goes off in the background with his suitcases. But I also wanted it to look beautiful and Mexican. So I painted this big bouquet of Mexican flowers and put a bowl of fruit out there. But the problem with the picture, as I lived with it day after day, was it wasn't telling me what I wanted it to say. It was a picture of flowers and fruit, basically. So I did a second version. If we can get a close-up on number 2. Is that number 2?
You need to go fast.
And here, this is just a black and white sketch, but you can see I brought the family outside of the house. And there's the embrace between the ladies on the steps while Dad and Chavo are loading up the car. And I liked that composition, except that it didn't look like a house that anybody would be very sad to leave. So I did another version. And this one I kind of like this low-tech presentation. Yeah. This one shows a rather fanciful house, a beautiful house actually, with a swooping staircase and an iron railing, and here's Chavo carrying the luggage down to Dad, who's going to be packing it up in the car, and you can see the ladies embracing now through the archway. But in the final picture,
Is that it?
no, right there. This is the final one. If you can get a close-up of that, you can see what I did finally. With the ladies embracing inside and the men coming down the stairs and loading up the car. But now I've added some color and some light so that the eye focuses on that embrace, which is where I wanted your eye to go to. But everything else is shown in this kind of blue hour light before dawn. And so it got the effect of the sad situation, but it's not a sad picture at all. It's sort of a magic one because of the light, because of the blue color, because if you could actually see the book, you'd see the stars in the sky and the mountains in the background and so on and so forth. So that gives you just a smidgen of an idea of what my work is like. And I hope you will all enjoy this book if you happen to come across it.
And I want to wish for every one of you a quiet place within yourselves. I don't have that right now, but I'll go back home to our river and to my little place where I write and to my big garden. Those are my quiet places. But when we live in a noisy place or where people are unhappy or fighting even, we need to remember to look for the quiet place inside ourselves. Thank you so much.
Nice.
We've
Got about 4 minutes. We can take questions.
questions.
Yeah. Does anybody have a question? Yes.
Thank you. She said the friend is about her.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's a nice comment. Anything else? Questions about anything at all?
I can't.
I like the book.
Thank
you. Isn't he a great artist? I love watching him draw. I said to you earlier, I'm the luckiest writer on earth.
Anybody else with a...
What was the,
Hold on.
what was the favorite?
Here's a question right here.
What's the question?
What was the favorite book you wrote?
Oh. Where is she?
It's right there. Red shirt.
What was the favorite book you wrote?
There is no such thing as a favorite book. As a writer, these stories are just like my children, and they're all over the world, but all of them are very different one from another, and I love each one differently. It's a good question, but they are like my children. I love each one differently.
This lady has a question.
Do you have a question, honey?
I really liked the flower.
Thank you. You like the flower picture best?
I love flowers,
Thank
too.
you. I liked it too. It just didn't work.
Hi, thank you both for all your work you do for reading and children and art. I just wanted to thank you, and I'm not sure, I'm a little embarrassed to say if you, Mr. Small, did the illustrations for the library.
I don't.
Sarah's story.
Yes, when I write a story, nobody else illustrates them. And the library was illustrated by David.
So he is your exclusive illustrator.
Yes.
Well-
and my exclusive husband.
And your exclusive husband, of course. Well, I'm a librarian, and if there's any other
Bravo.
librarians around here, I'm sure they all would join me in saying thank you for the library. It's a wonderful book.
Thank you.
And I'm also a librarian in a bilingual school here in D.C., a D.C. public school. Some of my students are around. And is Isabel going to be translated?
It should be translated in a number of languages, just like all the other books are. And I believe that is so important in today's world. So thank you. Hopefully your question will push that forward with regard to our publisher. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of his
One more.
favorite books is
What?
So you
Where
want
is
to be
she?
a venter.
Where is she?
Oh, it's right down here.
It's a he.
So you want to be a venter. That's what book he wrote.
So you want to be
So you want to be
Is
an
an-
inventor?
inventor or a...
That's a venter.
Yeah, an inventor, yes. I didn't write that book, but I illustrated that book. So
David-
you want to be an inventor.
David drew those beautiful pictures.
Yes.
I don't know. The woman. There was some other woman with
Anybody
her
else?
hand up.
Is that it? Hey, thank you very
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
coming. Thank you for being quiet. And thank you for your applause.
All right.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.